This video or how-to will be on setting the isolation code of a call station with the micro SD card that's inside the device itself. And the reason you would change an isolation code would be because you have added a second coordinator to your system. And anytime you add another coordinator, you always want them on separate channels so you don't get any interference. The other reason would be that you have something in your facility operating at 900 megahertz that's interfering with our mesh signal, and so we can change that channel in order to try to alleviate that interference. So first thing you want to do is we want to check the isolation code that we're trying to get our devices onto. So you would go into the core software, and then basically under administration there's system settings, or you can choose that here. And basically you want to go to service. Then once you're in the service, you want to go to coordinators, which is right here. And then here you'll have a list of all your coordinators. You may just have one, you may have two or more. Essentially select it there. And right here is where it's going to tell you what isolation code it's set to. So for this system, this isolation code is set to number 3. So that's what I'm trying to do is get this device to be a call station to show up here on my isolation code 3. So what we can do now is go to the actual call station itself, and we want to take or loosen these 3 screws until we can remove this cover from the box. Such if we turn that cover upside down, we'll see a circuit board looks just like this. Right here in this corner next to the little black divider plug-in that kind of looks like a phone line, there'll be an SD card. It'll be inside this little metal slip. Essentially you just push in on it, and when you do that, release it, just release your finger and it'll kind of like pop out the card more, and then from that you can pull the card all the way out of this little sleeve, and then you should have something kind of looks like this. And what we need to do is we need to get this to connect to your computer, laptop, whatever that is. How you can do that is with just one of these little readers where you can push the little micro SD card in and just connect to your computer through USB, or they make like a SD card reader adapter where you can stick the micro SD card into the SD card reader, put the SD card reader in your laptop, however it is that works for you. But once you get that plugged in, you essentially are going to bring up your file explorer, and you're going to find that where that is. So mine's this USB drive, and you should have something that looks sort of kind of like this here. Maybe not as many files, but probably some of those files. So once that we have this, what we want to do is we need to open up Notepad so that we can make a text file. So you can just go to Start and just type in Notepad, and that'll bring up the app right here. And you can just click on it to open it up, and it'll bring just a blank page just like this. So as we recorded earlier from where I looked at that coordinator, I want to be on isolation code number 3. So I'm going to just type in the number 3. That's it. And then I'm going to do File. I'm going to hit Save As. And what I want to do is I want to select that USB device, which is going to show me those files. You see like boot error system. Essentially, I want to rename this to use capital letters, ISOCODE. So ISO code. You can just leave the .txt. You're going to hit save. And then now that that's saved, you can close this. Now you're going to see that file populate into this USB drive where that SD card is. So now what you want to do is you can just close this. You're going to pull that SD card out of the reader. Right, you're going to have it like this. You're going to place it back inside this little sleeve, and basically this wording is going to be facing up towards you. And then you're going to push this in until you hear it click. And then once it clicks, it'll kind of be resting inside there like so. And then you're going to put your 4 screws back on, and then you're going to plug it in. And when you plug it in, It's going to do a little boot up, and it's going to make a beep sound. So then now in theory, it should be on your, should show up in my system here. And as you can see now, I have that call station showing up on my isolation code number 3. This concludes the video on how to change that isolation code using the SD card on the call station. And I look forward to talking to you again.